आइए बैठिए बैठिए.
Yeah, we can start, Ashwin.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. So today we have Chitra ma'am. So she is an excellent naturalist. She has a very large set of publications. She's a very active researcher. She's a principal scientist at Indian Council of Agriculture Research and at IIRRR as well. I'm sorry. I think it's a Rice Research Institute. And she's an expert in agricultural entomology. She does with sustainable pest management, etc. So we are glad to have you, ma'am, with us for an introduction into the world of insects. So hope everyone will enjoy and get a good idea about how insects and how the systems work. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashwin, for that introduction. Uh, Before I start, I just counted, I think, around 10 states from which people have joined. I'm very happy and I welcome you all to this talk. So basically, I am an agricultural entomologist and I have been trained in pests of crops and how to manage them. But I'm a very keen naturalist, so I have a keen interest on the biodiversity around us and across India. So my talk today is going to be like very basic because I don't know what levels I'm going to talk to. So I'm going to be talking to the people like as if they are at level 0. Okay, so sorry if there are some people who are very good, adept at entomology and identifying things, but I would like to do it basic and you can ask me the questions later, okay? And if there are experts, you can add to the knowledge which I am trying to give and also correct me if you find anything, okay? So today I'm going to introduce you to the world, amazing world of insects and what is their important role in ecosystems. What I find is that either you love insects or you hate insects. You're freaked out by them. But insects are a part and parcel of uh, big part and parcel of your life system. And yeah. Okay, so I will talk what is an insect and how you identify it and how you differentiate it from similar looking things, why insects are dominating in this world, then what are the amazing facts about insects, and then some common insect groups around us which we'll be observing. And this is actually a run up towards the city nature challenge. So I will also talk about how species are recorded, some of the species recorded in iNaturalist, and how you can add to that knowledge as citizens. Okay, and then we also a little bit about the role of insects in the ecosystem. I don't know why I'm. So insects belong to the kingdom animal. They're all animals, just like us. They also belong to the animal kingdom, and they belong to the phylum Arthropoda. And it is called as hexapoda. Why it's called as hexapoda? Because they have 6 legs. Hexa means 6. So they have 6 legs. Okay. And why arthropoda? Means they have jointed legs. So each part is jointed. You have different, just like we have joints here, they have jointed body parts and jointed legs. That's why they're called as arthropoda. Okay. And coming to the insect world, we actually inherited this planet from insects. They were living before us and they'll live after us. So they are very adept to live in this world. They have been on this planet for around 410 million years. They were the first to fly and the first to develop agriculture even. You should ask me this question where. And then first to form complex societies. We were not the first to form complex societies. Insects were. And if you look at the whole species which are found in the world, insects occupy the major chunk of the fauna which is found in this world. There are more insects than all other combined. 1 out of every 5 animals that you see is a beetle in this world. Okay. At any point of time, this is the number, that is 10 quintillion. Abhi, can you stay still? You're going in and out. Okay. So there are 10 quintillion insects that are seen in this world. at any time, and around 9 lakh species have been already described and more joining every day. Then insects from India constitute nearly 7% of the world insect fauna. Okay. Why are insects so successful? Because they are small in size, very small in size. You know, everybody sees the insects. They are multi-generational, meaning what? Within a small time span, they will be able to multiply next generation. Within one crop period or 1 year or 3 months, there will be so many generations of an insects. That is, a mother will be giving birth to babies, the babies will be giving birth to more babies, etc. Okay. Then they all have flight. Then there is a metamorphosis. What is metamorphosis? Metamorphosis means the insects in each stage, they change their shape and they become different. So that is metamorphosis, changing. Then they have a wide variety of food choices and a wide variety of habitat resources. That is why they are so successful and they are able to establish in this in vast numbers in many areas. Okay. Then coming to how do you differentiate? So many of the people who are not exposed to entomology also consider spiders as insects. So spiders and insects are a little different. How this is the birth plan of insects and the spiders. An insect will have 3 body parts. That is the head, thorax, and abdomen. It will have 2 pairs of wings and it will have 3 pairs of legs. Okay. And 1 pair of antennae. This is what an insect constitutes of. Whereas on the other hand, a spider, which looks very similar, but it will have only 2 body parts. That is the cephalothorax and the abdomen. And then it has no antennae and it has 4 pairs of legs. Instead of 3 pairs of legs, here you have 4 pairs of legs and no wings. So this is how you will differentiate a spider and an insect. Okay. Then coming to insect life cycles, there are simply 2 broad classifications in insect life cycles. One is complete metamorphosis or complete change, where you have the egg, which will change into a caterpillar, and then it will become a pupa, and then it will become an adult. If from CNC point of view, any of these you can record and post on the iNaturalist, and there are experts who can identify at all stages. Okay. So egg, caterpillar, pupa, and adult. Whereas there are some other insects where when the egg, from the egg, you get nymphs. Nymphs are young babies which are looking exactly like their mama and papa, but they will lack wings. That is, they look like their adults, but they will not have the wings. And slowly as they develop, wing path will come and then the full wings will develop. So this is called as incomplete metamorphosis or simple metamorphosis. Okay. There are 2 types of metamorphosis. Then coming to mouth parts, you know, because of the bizarre ways in which insect feed, that's why they have been a huge part of the science fiction movies, you know, because of their mouth parts. You know, if you sit and watch a housefly, that extreme end is a housefly. It will have something like an hostelum and it has ridges on it. That this is the housefly, and you will have ridges on it, and it will suck everything from through that. Then you have the mosquito. You know how it pokes you. So the mouth part is like a needle, and then the needle gets into the space between your skin, the holes between your skin. Then you have the chewing mouth parts, where you see in grasshoppers where they just chew the thing. Even in caterpillars, they chew. Then you have the inbuilt siphon in butterflies and moths. It is rolled up and kept. There is something like a straw, and slowly it extends and is able to feed. You also have lapping, where like in honeybees, they lap up the honey. So there are different types of mouth parts here. And then coming to the what are the amazing statistics about insects. The biggest insect is the Goliath beetle, which weighs around 50 grams. Then the longest, and also we have one cricket also, which is reported from Australia. Longest is a stick insect, which is around 64 inches, 64 inches. And the smallest insect is the fairy flies. They are actually microscopic. You will not be able to see them, and they develop within the eggs of other insects. They are called as fairy flies. Even in India, fairy flies are the smallest. And coming to India, the biggest butterfly is the Himalayan golden birdwing, which is Troides acus, and the biggest moth is the Atlas moth, which is also the biggest in the world. Okay. Then coming to the different groups of insects you might see. And you might also record for CNC. The first one, lift calendars or old. Earlier, we used to have these photographs and calendars at home. If you lift them, behind them, you will see the small insects which are moving. Shiny, there will be some minor scales are also there. They are called as silverfish because of that shine on the body. So this silverfish is an apterygote insect. That means it does not have wings. It has been modified. It has lost its, it has never got its wings. It's a primitive form. Therefore, it is called as apterygota, means no winged creature. Okay. The next group are the mayflies. Mayflies belong to the group called Ephemeroptera. Ephemeral means very temporary or transient. So these adults live only for a day. That is why they are called as Ephemeroptera, and also mayflies, because earlier it was observed coming in huge numbers in the season, in the month of May. That's why they're called as mayflies. Where to spot them? They'll be near the water bodies and they emerge in swarm and come to the light. So they are an important part of food web, but swarms become a nuisance. So the larvae actually stay in the water. If you see the lowest left-hand side image is of the larvae which stays underwater and it feeds, and then the adult comes out. There will be a sub-imago which is sort of not shiny in color. It will be translucent, and then the adult comes. So this last right-hand image is of a swarm in Andhra Pradesh. So in some of the summer months, you will get this kind of huge swarms, which is a nuisance. Actually, the big mayflies are seen in huge numbers. You might also see them. Then coming to another favorite group of mine, that is the dragonflies and the damselflies, Odonata. So Odonata are the rulers of the sky. And your helicopter is designed after the dragonfly. It is a very, very beautiful insect, and you will see a huge number of them. All you have to do to spot this is to go near a water body or a water channel, or a small whatever puddle. And if you see nearby, you will see them flying, and you can spot. So there are two groups here, the dragonfly and the damselfly. So how do you differentiate the dragonfly and the damselfly? Dragonflies here are more stout, robust, and their wings are always spread and kept, okay? And the hind wing will be broader at the base. Their eyes, if you see, are joined together, which I am pointed out here. Whereas in the case of damselflies, the eyes are separated here. So the eyes will be separated here, and then the wings are of equal size and will be always closed and kept together. Okay, so that is how you separate the dragonfly and damselfly. But when you go and start seeing in the field, you will realize that the damselflies are really damsels. They are very slender, and dragonflies are more robust. And the minute you see them, you will understand the difference between a dragonfly and a damselfly. And the larvae stay in the water. They are called as naiads, and they are very good predators in the water too. So the top image is of that of a dragonfly, and the bottom image is that of a damselfly. In damselflies, the gills will be out, whereas in dragonfly, it is inside. Dragonfly naiad, it is internal. Okay. Gills was what help them to breathe under the water. Okay. And then coming to the next group, that is no, in this only I am showing more number of. So dragonflies are very good predators. They will be able to catch another dragonfly too, and they catch moths, and they catch, some of them are called as mosquito hawks, and they are very important biological control for mosquitoes in any region. But they also become a food web for others. They are a very good food for many number of birds, especially if you see bee eaters, they'll be catching these. Is there some issue? So there'll be a number of bee eaters which will be feeding on these dragonflies. Okay. And many times you will see this kind of skin on near the water body, which is the shed skin of the naiad from which the dragonfly has emerged. Then the damselflies here. I have given only a few common ones here. The common blue tail, which is more or less, it will have the tip blue, but the lower one, the golden dartlet, also has a blue tip, but you see the yellow abdomen. So this is the golden dartlet, and thus the other one is the common blue tail. And the coromandel marsh dart is also very common. It will look like parrot green. And you have the saffron-faced blue dart. And I see people from Maharashtra and then Meghalaya and even Tamil Nadu and other places here. And these people near water bodies can find the stream glory. Anybody near west in the Ghat regions or the hilly regions, they can find stream glories and bamboo and reed tails. The diversity will be very high. So I was telling some common differences between dragonflies and damselflies. As with any rule in nature, there will always be exemptions. So coming to one group, that is, it is Anisozygoptera. There is only one dragonfly from India, which is from the Himalayan region. If somebody is here from the northeast, this has been recorded from Sikkim, the Himalayan relic dragonfly. There is only one species, and there are only three genus in this, three species in this genus across the world. That is Ephoplebia. And this looks like a dragonfly, but it will have folded wings and it will have the characters of both damselflies and dragonflies. And very few observations are there. So people who are in the northeast, please look out for this. Then this on the right hand side is the damselfly, which is called a spread wing. So by its name, you should know, while damselflies keep their wings closed, this one has its wings open. So there is a group which has got open wings, but that is not the norm. The norm is that they will keep their wings closed. Okay. Then coming to, if you see in India, you will have so far, actually in India, Odonata, around 500 species have been recorded, and more are being added in this group especially. But in iNaturalist, there are only 371 species recorded across India. So this is one group where everybody can contribute. If you go near water bodies, I'm sure you will be able to get a few species added to this group. And again, as I was pointing out, I just wanted to show that new species are being recorded as recent as 2025 from India. So this is also, if you are of a higher level in entomology, this is one of the groups you can focus on for identifying new species. Okay. Then coming to the next group, that is Orthoptera, which consists of three groups, that is grasshoppers, katydids, and crickets. So many people have this problem of identifying what is a grasshopper, what is a katydid, and what is a cricket. Okay. The first one, what I'm showing, this slide shows all the grasshoppers. They are called as short-horned grasshoppers. Their antenna is short. Okay. They will be sharp, cetaceous, and then you will see that they are only limited. When I show the next slide, you will understand what is long. Okay, these are all grasshoppers, and most of this group as masters in camouflage. They will be either green or brown in color, but the bright colored one in the center is giving you a warning coloration. It feeds on a plant called Calotropis, which has got toxins, and they store these toxins on their body, and they are telling their predators, don't eat me, I am not good for you. Okay, that is how the coloration works here. This is the bright coloration means that they are not good to feed. And if you see the right extreme on the top, the grasshopper is even trying to mimic the stem and the stem colors of the grass on which it is growing. The green and the browns are represented here. They are masters of camouflage. Okay. Then the next group is the long-horned grasshoppers. So when I said they have short horn, now you see they are very long. If you see this, they are very long horns they have. And these mostly are confused with leaf insects. I will come to that again. So these are also grasshoppers. If you see, their hind legs are good for jumping, and they are very slender compared to other grasshoppers. And they mimic the dry or green leaves. Okay. This is the long-horned grasshopper or katydid. This is what is called as katydid. Then you have the crickets. All orthopterans have got stridulatory organs. Stridulatory means they make sound. You know, their hind legs have got a ridge, and this is rubbed against the wings, just like if you have a comb. And then see that sound. This sound is what the grasshopper is making to make that sound. That is, they will be rubbing their legs against the wings to make some sound. Okay, crickets are the sound makers of the night. Okay, when you can, and especially in forest regions, you will find this tree crickets, beautiful sounds in the night. And most of them, if you get one in the house, you know how much noise they're going to make. So they are identified also by the species identification can also be made by the calls. You have a number of crickets. Here, the thing, if you see, the body structure is very different. The saddle-like back they have, and then they also have long antenna, but not as long as that of the longhorn grasshopper. And they have this backside, they have that end, they will have two segments, okay, cerci, which are there, which with which you will be able to identify the cricket. So we saw three groups in the Orthoptera, that is grasshoppers, shorthorn grasshopper, longhorn grasshoppers, and the crickets. Okay, if you look at the species in India, so 519 species are reported, but I'm telling you, this is a very, very low number compared to what diversity we have, and we can really contribute to this diversity, okay, as citizens. Then coming to other group, that is, I was talking about stick insects and leaf insects. So the stick insect and the leaf insect form one group, come under one order. So the stick insects look like sticks, and the leaf insect looks like leaf. But how do you differentiate it from the false leaf insects, or most probably the katydids? So look at the antennae. In leaf insects, if you see, they will have a short antennae, and also the legs will be more or less of equal size, lengthwise, whereas in a katydid, there will be slender and long, especially the hind leg will be slender and long, and the antenna will be very long. Okay, this is how you will differentiate, because I get questions all the time showing a katydid and asking if this is a leaf insect. This is how you separate a leaf insect, and leaf insect body will be sort of flattened like this, whereas a katydid body will be like this, a conic, like a cone. Okay, and then the
We
next,
don't really.
yes. Then we come to the next group, that is the Dictyoptera. In Dictyoptera, we have three subgroups, that is the cockroaches, termites, which is surprisingly related to the cockroaches, and then you have the mantids. The cockroaches, we are all freaked by the house cockroaches, but there are so many species of cockroaches in India, which is very good actually for returning the nutrients to the soil. Cockroaches play a very important role. Okay, and then termites also, you have a number of species in India, and termites are called as white ants also, and these are the winged ones which you see in huge numbers after the rains under the light. And then you have the mantids. The mantids is also called as praying mantis. You can also call them as prey because they are praying the insect, or it is prey because they are holding their legs together. Okay, that is mantidae. So as I was telling you, there are a huge number of cockroach species in India. Just one family, Blaberidae, has 56 species in India, and there are some very beautiful cockroaches also. So don't be freaked out by this group. They are a very important part of returning the litter and nutrient cycling in forests. Okay. And then coming to another beautiful group, that is the Neuroptera. Under this group, we have lacewings, owlflies, and antlions. They have, why they are called as Neuroptera is because they have this wing venation is just like a net. That is why, like neurons, like a net. That is why they are called as lacewings and neuropterans. So here we have major group is the owlfly. Then owlfly is the first image. The antenna, if you see, it will have a ball type of thing on the top. That is the identification for the owlfly. And on the lower here, I've shown the larvae of owlfly and the eggs of owlfly. And here, this is a lacewing. The second image is that of a lacewing. And lacewing eggs you will often see. This is the stalked eggs, which I have shown here. And the third image is the antlion. The antlion has got shorter antennae, but clubbed antennae compared to that of an owlfly. But antlion, you would see that last image where in the sand you're having these holes. Their larvae are staying inside and they're waiting for the insects to come in so that they can predate. Okay, so this is the inside these holes. They are the larvae of these antlions. And if you see many of these neuropterans, the larvae, the left second line, have the larvae which is throwing their carcass on the top. Whatever they're feeding on, they'll suck up, and then the skin they will throw on their top so that they are camouflaged from their own predators. Okay, that is a very important thing. And they also have this mimicking this owlfly in the right extreme, where they stick out their abdomen like a twig. So that is also a defense mechanism. Then the number of species, again, this is a very less worked group as far as diversity is concerned, and only 102 species have been recorded across all the groups, that is across all the families of Neuroptera. Okay. And then somebody from Meghalaya is there, and I'm sure if you look for these, you will definitely get some new species from that region. Coming to the next group, this is Hemiptera. In Hemiptera, we have that is bugs, aphids, mealybugs, scales, all of them come under Hemiptera. What is the commonality is that they have a sucking mouthpart and they suck juice. They suck either, if it is predatory, they will suck the juice of their prey, or if it is a plant feeding, they will suck the juice from the plant. Okay, that is the commonality in Hemiptera. So this there are groups called as true bugs, and in this you will have that half single color and half net-like wings in the case of true bugs, and they may be either predatory or they may be plant feeding. You have a huge group here. There will be stink bugs, there are predatory bugs, and then this green color shiny metallic one. Many people confuse this with a jewel beetle, but this is also a bug. In bugs, you will have a triangular shape on the top, but in this case, that is called a scutellum. In that metallic bug, the scutellum is covering the whole of the abdomen. That is why it is giving a beetle-like appearance. Then you have the assassin bugs. You have the aquatic predators like water scorpion. You have the Jesus bugs. So many different types under the true bugs here. Then you also get the not at all insect-looking scales. You have the mealybugs. Then you have whitefly. Then you have moth hoppers. You have cicadas, leaf hoppers, plant hoppers, aphids, all come under, frog hoppers all come under this group of Hemiptera. And the one common thing which you find is many of these insects are attended by ants. Why? Because they are sucking the plant sap and then they will excrete the extra plant sap. And this extra plant sap is very good for feeding for a lot of ants. Therefore, these ants feed the sugary substance secreted by the by these bugs, and they protect the insects. Okay, that is a mutual relationship that many of these sucking bugs have created with ants. Okay, so you can see this ant attending, means if there are number of ants, you can also look for the scales. The first image shows that of scales, and the second image shows that of hoppers. Okay. Then coming to the number of species, as is expected, because it's a huge order, we have 1,755 species reported from India, but still a lot of work can be done under this group. Then we come to the most identified group in insects, that is the butterflies. Why? Because everybody likes butterflies. They are colorful, they are day flying, they visit flowers, and everything that is associated with sunshine and happiness is associated with butterflies. So in butterflies, we have 6 groups. Okay. I have given some images of each of the groups. The first one is of that belonging to gossamer wing butterflies or hair streaks or blues and coppers. Most of them, when they open inside, will have a blue color or a copper color. That's why they're called as blues and coppers. And also the hind wing will have a thin hair-like streak. That is why they are called as hair streaks. Okay. Am I audible? Can somebody just tell me if I am audible?
Yes, Chitra, you are. Only thing, when you show the
yes,
this thing, can you point to the animal so that it's easier for us to make out?
Does my cursor show?
It's very faint. Can you move? Yeah, okay, now we can see it. So if you can show it on that animal, that would be easier.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you for that feedback. So, okay, the first one is the gossamer wing butterfly. So you can see here the small streak. This is why they're called as hair streak or gossamer wings. And then The caterpillar of this group is very interesting. Why? Because they, just like the bugs, secrete a sugary substance, and they are always attended by ants, and they are sort of grub-like, unlike the other caterpillars of butterflies. Okay, so if you would like to see a very common one, there is the plains cupid. This is found in cycads, the ornamental plant. In the center, if you see, you will find definitely the butterflies and these caterpillars. Okay, then the second group is the swallowtails. So this is a swallowtail crimson rose, and most of the large butterflies fall under this particular group. Okay, this particular group has the largest butterfly, that is the Himalayan birdwing. All the birdwings, we have 3 birdwings, all come under the swallowtail butterflies, and many of them feed on toxic plants, and they also have this coloration which will ward off the predators. And then the third group is the brush-footed butterflies or nymphalidae. The one which is seen here, this black one, and also the common visible haldi kumkum or the yellow and red butterfly. Both of them belong to this nymphalidae or brush-footed butterflies. Why are they called brush-footed butterflies? Like I told you, all insects have 3 pairs of legs, but here only 4 are functional, and the first 2 are kept tightly closed and they are defunct. That's why they are called as brush-footed butterflies. And the third one also belongs to this in larger sense. They are called as evening browns, and mostly in opposition to all the butterflies, they are crepuscular. That is, they come out in the evening. They are called as evening browns, and they are dull in color. And then the next group is the whites and yellows. The whites and the yellows. Okay, the whites and the yellows are called so only because majority of the colors are whites or either yellows. There are 3 groups in this. You get whites like the cabbage white, or the yellows like the common grass yellow, and cloudwings also come under this group. And all the tips, the crimson tip, the little orange tip, the large orange tip, everything comes under the group of whites and yellows. Okay, and then we come to the next group. They are called as skippers. The skippers actually, they have a very typical flight. You know, they will fly like skipping. That's why they're called as skippers. And they are more sober in color, except some of them are yellow in color. And the caterpillars are very beautiful with a very big head. I don't have time to cover all that, so I'm only giving you the adult stage. And this is the grizzle skipper, which is commonly seen sitting on dung. Actually, one of the very common things which you will see for butterflies is mud puddling. So wherever in there is defecation or urination by animals, you might see them because they are trying to get ammonia from them. So this characteristic is called as mud puddling, and you will find a number of butterflies sitting on top of either the scat or some watery areas. Okay. And the last one is the metal mark, which is, if you are from the Ghat region or the hilly region, it is quite common to see this butterfly. It's not very common in other areas. It's called the Judy. Judies and they are metal marks, also called as metal marks. And they have a very typical rotating top sort of flight. And they keep the wings open when they are flying. And then they will keep rotating like this when they are landing on something. And then they'll rotate and then they'll stop. So this is how you will identify a Judy. Okay, so there are 6 groups of butterflies. Then coming to the number of species, actually 1,300 plus species of butterflies are reported in India, but we have only 1,061 species which have been recorded on iNaturalist or any citizen science database. So there is a lot to contribute from our sides in recording biodiversity. Okay. So I did not talk about the difference between moths and butterflies. So generally what are day flying are butterflies and night flying are moths. And generally butterflies are bright colored and more slender, and moths are stouter and sober colored. But there are variations in both. Okay, like I told you, the evening brown, which is very sober colored and comes out at night. And there are day flying moths, which are very brightly colored. So this is the general category with which, and then their antennae. So in butterflies, the antennae will be like sort of clubbed on top, And then if you see that edge, it will be clubbed, whereas hooked antennae, whereas in moths, you will have different types ranging from cetaceous to pectinate and bipectinate, like a comb they might have. And moths, most probably, if you're going out in the daytime to observe, you might see the caterpillars. And there are wonderful caterpillars which you can observe, different modifications, amazing. It will be folding the leaves and sitting inside, or it will be under the leaves. So moths in general, you won't find in the daytime. They may be resting unless you flush them out from under the bushes, or they have come to the light and stayed there. It is best to observe moths under the light, or you put a moth light and you'll be able to observe. Okay, the one which is on top, this is a Weber type of moth coming under the Pyrostidae. This is a noctuid moth. And then here you have a death head moth. This is called the spinged moth, and the caterpillars are very beautiful with a long tail they'll have at the end. So the spinged moths are one of the bigger moths. This is also a spinged moth. This comes on Nerium. And then this was from the last moth week, Kamalia, which is from this caterpillar which we read, which is the first record from Telangana. And I'm sure many more records like this would come from CNC during this season. Then coming to observations from CNC under this group, last year, there was one observation from Kerala by one Atul Shanker. This Heterosphecia indica. This is the first record of this moth from India after 99 years. The previous known is from a specimen collected in 1925. See, this is a live one, and what kind of thing we can contribute to biodiversity recording as citizens. This is what I would like to point out when it comes to CNC and biodiversity studies. Then the next group is Diptera. I have put Diptera and Hymenoptera together here because they will look more or less similar, because their wings are translucent like a glass in both the cases. But in true flies, we will have only one pair of wings, that is two wings only, and the second pair will be modified into a knob-like structure which is used for balancing. Okay, it's called as halteres. And we have a number of species, a number of families under the true flies. Even your housefly comes under this, robber fly comes under that, and very good pollinators. You have fruit flies, you have very good things. So that is the true flies. They have only two pairs or one pair of wings, that is two wings. The Hymenoptera consists of ants, bees, and wasps. So ants, everybody knows, they have seen, but I will come to it again. There are a number of species also even in ants. Then you have the bees. You have the common bee species which gives you honey, like apis, and then the rock bee which you see on the rocks. And then you have species wasps, potter wasps, and then parasitoid wasps. So many come under this group called Hymenoptera. They have two pairs of glassy wings. That is the difference between true flies and a Hymenoptera. That is wasp. So coming to the number of species of flies that are recorded in India, we have more than 1,000 species. But this is a very low number compared to actually the number which is seen in the real diversity which is present in India. And mosquitoes come under the group of Diptera. Okay, houseflies also come under the group Diptera, and mosquitoes also come under the group Diptera. So next time you catch a housefly and a mosquito, and just check how many wings it has got. And this bathroom moth fly, which is very common, many people think it is a moth. So if sometimes you have stagnating water or some things stuck in your drains, you will see these kind of flies coming. They are very small, and they'll be seen in the, they are called as moth fly because they look like moths. Then coming to the next group is the Hymenoptera. We have around 1,345 species. Just honeybees, we have 3. That is Apis dorsata, or the rock bee. That is here, the third one. And then the Serrana indica, which is the Indian honeybee or Asian honeybee. Then you have the Floria, or the small honeybee. And then you also have stingless bees. Then you have the black ant. Camponotus, which is very common. This is the weaver ant Ecophylla, which you will be seeing stitching the leaves together, and so many other species you will be seeing in this group. So this just to point the number of species of ants in India. We have specialists of ant. I don't know whether Paul is attending, but there are specialists in ants who can identify every small thing that moves. And just do not ignore this. This is a very big part of the diversity you can contribute in City Nature Challenge. The ants around you. There are around 376 species of ants present in India. This I have taken from a recent from the recent records. I am just showing you previous year when I presented the same thing, there were only 302 species reported in from India on iNaturalist. And now this year, if you see, it has gone up to 376. So this is the power of citizen science, which I really like to point that as citizens, we can contribute to diversity in a big way. Okay. Then coming to the, I have kept this group to the last, but this is the largest group. Like I told you in the beginning, every one of 5 will be a beetle in the world. This is the largest group of animals which is present in the world. And beetles and weevils come under Coleoptera. Why is it called as Coleoptera? Because their forewing is developed very hard. Oh, I did not tell that. So in insects also, the skeleton is outside. It's called as exoskeleton. Whereas we have the skeleton inside, they have the skeleton outside. The thickening is outside. Okay. So Coleoptera, we have some beetles which have got which can bear up to 30,000 times their weight. That kind of strength their wings have, and the top wings are that is the forewings are very highly chitinized, and that is a very typical character of beetles. And weevils in this group have got a very long snout. So that is how you differentiate between a beetle and a weevil. You have the long-horned beetle, which is coming second. You have the leaf-rolling beetles. You have the tiger beetles or the ground beetles. You have the dung rollers, and then you have the flower beetles or flower chafers. You have the coccinellid or the ladybird beetles. You have the flea beetles, which just like grasshoppers, their hind legs are well developed for jumping. So they are the flea beetles, where you can see the legs peeping here in the last one. And around 400,000 species are described here, and largest of the orders constituting 40% of all described insects and 25% of all known animal species. Okay. Coming to India, we have around, because it is the biggest, we have around 3,200 species which have been reported from India, constituting across all the families present in this group. Then coming to, I just wanted to talk a little about CNC last year. If you see CNC last year, we had around 130,000 observations and 6,900 species, of which 3,000 were plants, which is understandable because people can identify and look at plants easily, and insects constitute the next group. This number you can bring up a little more if you have a little bit of observation. How do you go about it? Is you turn a leaf and see, you open a leaf and see, and you're definitely going to find an insect around you. I would also like to touch a little bit about what is the role of insects. Insects play an important role in religion and culture. It has always been a part of thing, and we have a number of movies which are based on insects. It also opened out trade routes between countries. The sericulture has opened out trade routes, and the Silk Route is even now a tourist route which you can follow. Then they are herbivores which can thin out the leaves in dense forests. And then they are very important part, everybody knows, they are insect pollinators. And then they are also seed dispersers. Very important is this ant group. The seeds which are dispersed by insects, they have a special structure called elaiosome, which is something which the insect feeds on, and that is why they carry the seeds to their hill or their nest, where the warmth and the humidity will make them to germinate. Okay. Then you have the insect scavengers. They are the cleaning crew of the nature. There are different types. You have dung beetles. You have beetles which bury the dead. We have composting beetles like the soldier fly and also the rhinoceros beetles. And they are very important part. Then you have the beneficial insects in agriculture, which are predators and also parasitoids, which are used as biocontrol agents to control agriculture pests. We have insects as food. They not only provide human food, but they are also food for birds and other animals. If anybody knows about the dragonfly migration from India to Africa and back, you would know that also the Amur falcon follows the same path so that they will have food all the way. You know, flying hotel they have. Then you have beneficial insects like honeybees and the lac insect, which provides lac. You know, the Hyderabad is famous for lac bangles that comes from an insect. Then are insects numbers dwindling and how do we conserve them? We have a number of ways. We can create in eco ponds. We can grow indigenous trees, indigenous understory. Please don't go for curated gardens with just lawns in and around your space. Have some amount of diversity in your flora, which will have an impact on the insect diversity. Okay, this is my most important takeaway from this. When you create parks, please create a small area where there is wildflowers, then butterfly host plants, both for the caterpillar and also for nectar plants, so that we will always have some amount of diversity going on. Thank you. If you have any questions, I am ready to take.
Yes, before we start taking questions, ma'am, can you just turn off this presentation just for a second? Yeah, thank you. Yes, just sharing the QR code for registration for the CD Nature Challenge. So those who have not registered yet, do scan this thing and register yourself. So till the time that we take questions, people can register. So yeah, yes, ma'am. So if anyone has any questions or doubts, do ask. Maybe put in the chats or you can unmute and ask.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
I have a question, ma'am. Thank you for that amazing talk. But my question is that sometimes when I find dead moths or dead dragonflies and I try to pin them, they often start rotting before I actually get them into position, like after a few days. So is there anything I can do to help, prolong that life that I can pin?
No, actually, there is a chemical that prevents rotting, but actually, you have to get your insect. This was not a question which I expected. So,
Okay.
but you can. I have seen no problem with that. Only coleopterans, which are very thick, they have some of the rotting capacities. Dragonflies and damselflies and all stay for a long time. But you please. Moisture is very important. Please keep them spread out for a little while and then pin them inside a box, which is airtight and prevents moisture. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to have a thermocol thing with a slit in the middle where you pin it in the middle and you spread the wings on both sides and pin it up with, there are pinning methods. I can share it with you. I don't know whether I shared my mail ID. I can just share my mail ID and people who are interested can always contact me. So I can share with you how you will be able to do this properly. Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am. What I usually do is I like dip a tissue paper in formalin and I just keep it closed in
No,
a
no,
box.
no, no. It is not required at all. You don't have to do all that. Why do you use formalin?
As a, to prevent any other activity on the
No, if you're keeping it in formalin, it must be dipped in formalin, meaning the insect should be inside. So best is if you collect it, just pin it and keep it in a box. You can have different boxes. You can have your sari box converted into that with the thermocol inside, and you can keep it closed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, ma'am.
may I
Can you
ask
hear
a
me?
question?
Yeah, please. Hello.
Yeah, can I ask?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. My name is Alan, and it was in a wonderful class. Thank you for that. And I just had a doubt. So while we are collecting insects and all, which are the ones that we should avoid, like protected by the Wildlife Protection Act?
Alex, what do you do?
Actually, I study moths.
Okay, so if you are doing it for research, nobody stops you from doing it in India actually. A few butterflies are under the Schedule Act. If you go through WPA, you will be able to see them. Like we have Kesari hen, you have Troides and stuff like that. But if it is for research purposes, people will not be really stop you. You have collections, but like I said, there are some butterflies which are protected. So you have to take care. And if it is your state butterfly, whether you can harm them, it depends on different states. Okay, you have to look at the wildlife schedule. There are some insects which are mentioned in that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So other than butterflies, are there anything
Not
else?
just butterflies, there are some dragonflies also which are endangered, threatened. So all these you have to look at, and then you have to.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Chitra, there's a question in the chat from Pia, who says, my homeschooling child and I study beetles. I are studying beetles this month, but having a hard time finding them. We live in Delhi NCR. Where shall we look for it? And she has one more follow-up question also.
Okay, I don't know if they are there, but see, beetles, look at flowers. You will find flower chafer beetles. Look at places where there's dung. See, actually, beetles are the most common things. You will get beetles in your rice. You get weevils in your rice. Rice weevil is present in your rice. You get tribolium in your flour. So, your flour which you use at home. So the smallest beetles to big beetles, anywhere you go in a wooded area, you will find it. So if you really want to look for some carabid beetles, you can place pitfall traps, a small, cup or something which is placed flush in the ground. And if you go and look at it in the morning, you might get to see big beetles like Anthea, which might have fallen into it, or beautiful carabid beetles, which you can see. And even sometimes I have got a lot of scavenger beetles which come to that. And then if you go to coconut groves, you will find rhinoceros beetles. It is very common. I am very surprised that you're not finding beetles. So which place are you from? Whoever has asked this question, which place are you from in Delhi? Hello.
Pia, are you there? Can you mention which place in Delhi you're from? South Delhi, she says.
Okay. See, there is a place called Indian Agriculture Research Institute in Delhi. There is a whole entomology department there, and you can also take an help of some entomologists from there. And I think Asulabati Wildlife Sanctuary, I think they have a lot of activity there. You can go and see. Actually, beetles are the easiest to find, or you should, invite some expert. They will be able to show you.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. I'm Divjyoti here from Bhopal. I just wanted to know about slugs. Are they useful to the garden?
You mean the snailless, shellless snails, slugs? That
How?
is.
Without cells. With cell also and without cells also there. So slugs, I mean to say, without cells.
So
Because
they. They feed on decaying matter mostly, so they are not really harmful. But sometimes if you have seedlings, they may feed on them. So it depends on if they are causing damage, then they have to be, you can just pick them and put them somewhere else instead of just killing them. So
Thank
how,
you, ma'am.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm having a garden, a little small garden, and there I find slugs everywhere. I mean, then during the monsoons, it becomes more. For that reason, I wanted to know whether they are
But
useful or
are
not because I
they
see.
feeding on your leaves? Are you losing plants because of them?
Yeah, at times, yes. At times, yes. Because I brought some what called we say coriander, wild coriander, and cilantro. That is, I brought from Northeast, and it has eaten up all my cilantro. So I wanted to know about that. That slugs are useful or not? Because I found them mostly in my garden, moving about in the night time.
Pick them up and put them in some other place, please.
Okay. Yes, thank
Where
you. I have put salt on them and try to kill them actually. For that reason, I wanted to know whether they are useful or not. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, somebody is asking some question. Apart from butterflies, what insect can I focus for insect journey if I want to? Oh, there are a lot of groups actually from Arunachal Pradesh. You are so it is a very less studied group, less studied place, and lot of biodiversity. Moths are very important part there, which is very easily available. You can go get into moth taxonomy. You can also study Neuroptera. Nobody has studied from there, from those regions. So you can get into, and if you like smaller insects, then you can get into Cicadalidae, like, in Hemiptera. Every group is very important when it comes to Arunachal and Northeast. So, one else. So, what qualifies insect as a pest? So, insect as a pest is when you think from a human point of view, when it is affecting, see, like what she said, a slug is affecting her plants, then it is a pest. So, if you're growing some plants and you're losing it because of an insect, then it is a pest. Okay. And what causes locust swarms in fields? So, locusts actually, they are cyclical. There are two phases in locust. There is a solitary phase and there is a gregarious phase. So solitary phase, they stay separate and the colors are different, and slowly when because of temperature, because of food availability, they start moving closer together and they change color and they become the migratory locust and they form the swarms. And when they form swarms, then they move from field to field and they start damaging. This is cyclical and it is actually all over the country. It is not based on anything. There are some weather factors which have, that is a whole 1 hour which I have to talk on for this. And is there any field guide or report on hemipterans? So in Hemiptera, we have studies separately for Pentatomidae. We have studies separately for Reduvidae, that is assassin bugs, stink bugs. So a separate guide for hemipteran may not be there, but we have, so each group will have a separate study. Okay, if you are very interested in a particular group, I can point you towards some of the references that you can see. Are ornamental flowers bad for insects? I don't know. Ornamental flowers are, as per se, are not bad for insects or pollinators. Maybe they are being sprayed. Okay. That is why I always say, if you have a curated garden, at least focus some part for some of the pollinator species, nectar plants. Okay. That is the thing. Is there any other question I have to answer?
What qualifies insect as a pest? That's what
I
Zain is
answered that.
asking.
Actually, I answered that.
Okay, okay. So I think that's it.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
please.
my name is Coach from Arunachal Pradesh. Ma'am, I have a question regarding the identification of the insects. Like there are certain insects that are like quite similar looking. So especially when I upload in iNaturalist, like there are certain things that I might not be able to capture, which differentiate one insect from the other. So I just wanted to ask you, like, how should I take the picture of the insect so that other people can differentiate and help me identify the insect?
Uh,
Like
so
if there's any sort of
yeah,
technique that
I
can
get
be
that,
used.
what you're saying. I think mostly it would come to smaller groups like Cicadalidae. So for each insect, there are some certain taxonomic characters. Even for damselflies, even the most expert person, they will ask for the top view where they can see the pronotum or the top of the thorax, okay, for some of them. So it depends on which group you are looking at, and based on which group you will have to take. But clear pictures of top, side, and all these things might give a good capture. But even then, see, when I'm an entomologist, I'm always worried about, just the algorithm identifying all the insects, because that is not the only way you identify. Morphology of just looking at the colors or the thing is not the only way you identify. There are a lot of dissections that is required where you go into each group. So you can come up to the genus or you can come up to the family. Further, you have to ask some of the experts, and you have to send the specimen so that they can get it identified. That is my opinion. Actually, I do find youngsters who are very eager to identify cicadelids just by looking at them. It is not so easy. You have to run the key and you have to look at all the taxonomic characters to get to the correct insect species. Okay.
Thank
And
you. Okay.
sometimes they even find it odd that I am not giving them answers. But if I give the wrong answer as an entomologist, I will be held for it. You should understand that. And there are certain features which cannot be identified just by looking at an image. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Got it, ma'am.
Austin, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. I want to, could I have the link for the Asia Nature Challenge to register? Because the QR code's not working for me.
Ashwin,
Yeah, it's already posted in the chats. Have a look.
I think Anu can post it again, please.
Sure.
Yeah, there it is for you, Austin. I hope that helps.
Thanks.
Do we have any more questions, or then we can wind up?
Excuse me?
Diptera, yes, it belongs to Diptera, and they are pests. Actually, those flies which you see inside your Goa, they are fruit flies. Okay. And so most of the dipterans and larval stage will be maggots. They don't have legs, they don't have eyes, they don't have anything. They are just crawling stuff. So they are all dipterans. So that is, yes, a fruit fly is a diptera. And plan to talk on sustainable way. I do work on sustainable agriculture. My whole aim is habitat management to enhance biological control in rice. I give a lot of talks on that, and I can point you to some of the things. And yes, some of us are working on managing pests in a sustainable way. My aim is, even if a farmer is able to reduce a few sprays of insecticide and that does not come to us, I will be very happy.
One simple question: how can one become a great entomologist like you?
Yeah, I'm not a great entomologist. We have some real greats whom I know who have devoted their time to entomology. Any subject, if you focus on it and work with your heart, your brain, I'm sure you will become a great person in that field, right? Both your heart and your brain should work towards it. Thank you so much, Varnadev.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Nowadays, a lot of development is going on in our cities, so I'm not able to find beetles. Means they are so special for me. I once saw it in my village. I've never
Where
seen
are you from? Where are you from?
Actually, I'm in Gujarat currently.
Gujarat is a very diverse place. I'm sure you will find beetles. I can show you my Gujarat things also. You go to some places which is more woody, shady, and sometimes in the evening, they will be walking on the ground, or you look at flowers for flower chafers, beetles. Like each one has got a niche, So sometimes it helps to go with an expert once. You have to join some insect walk so that you will know what to look for where. Right?
Okay.
So see,
Okay.
for me, when I see when I see a leaf, I will know that if I open this leaf, I'm going to find something. So you have to go with somebody like that so that you will know what to look for. Okay, you have to develop insect person eyes, entomologist eyes.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Vandana wants to connect with you on LinkedIn or any other way. So
I am there on ResearchGate, but I have very less presence on LinkedIn. I have given my mail ID. You can directly talk to me, and I am also there on all the CNC groups. You can also WhatsApp me at any time for ID queries or any help with entomology. I am there. So even if I do not know, I will point you to people who are experts in that, because entomology is very vast. You have ecology, ethology, biology, physiology, taxonomy, so many things are there. So based on what is your need, I can point you to some expert.
there's one this thing from Rahul Kumarasan. Can you please share resources that someone who is not from a life sciences background can use to ID and learn more about insects? iNaturalist has been an amazing resource for me so far.
Yeah, iNaturalist is so far the best because one thing is, first, the resource comes from you. First, you have to record it. Then you will start learning. Then when you compare with other things, see, for example, you are interested in butterflies. You just have to go and look at butterflies. Just put butterflies and put your region, and then see what are all the butterfly species which are already recorded in your place. Then you will get an idea, and when you start looking at it in real, you will be able to identify. Just filter out. I think there will be other talks on how to use iNaturalist, but if you can filter out the group you want to know about and get to even your region, you will be able to see what are all the species which are already present. If you want to see in India, you can just put location as India. If you want to see in Tamil Nadu, you can see it as Tamil Nadu, and you can see in Tamil Nadu as a whole how many butterflies are recorded and what are all the species you can see. So that way you will be able to learn. Odonata, even see, it is a learning process for everybody, even us. Actually, we all learn because, like I told you, there are around 9 lakh species of insects in the world. So getting to know all of them is a big thing. You select a group and you have to go forward to learn about it.
Ashwin, I think we can wind up now.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for the time. Thank you, Farida, for this opportunity. Thank you, Ashwin, for coordinating this. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes, thank you, ma'am, for that presentation. I mean, it was actually insightful. Like, I'm also interested into ants and insects, so I go on again with INAT. And I hope, like, pretty much for this CNC, we all might have at least a basic idea on how to categorize what all insects out there, and definitely how to approach and who to ask. So, yeah, hoping for a better CNC this time. And thank you, ma'am, once again for the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.